You'll follow me until the end. I am my kingdom.
Oh, da, da, da. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes. 26 years or something like that since we've had back-to-back Royal Rumble winners. And he
Yeah.
and he did his thing tonight. He
He
did.
pulled a Hogan.
He pulled a Hogan, yeah.
Yes.
But he won't pull an Austin. Yeah.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Right.
You
No,
know, he could win a third Royal Rumble in the future. We'll
he
see.
could. He could. If he won it tonight, you know it's gonna be Punk's year next year, or Gunther. All right.
Gunther.
Welcome to Royal Rumble reaction episode of Legend of Wrestling podcast. I'm your co-host, Pej the Maniac. We got Weapon X on that side.
I'm the real Orange Sheik.
He's been the real Iron Sheik since fucking World War One.
Cameraman, zoom in.
Yeah, zoom in. Tell him what you think of the Royal Rumble in one sentence.
Royal Rumble, you better know if Orange Sheik was in Royal Rumble, Punk wouldn't win, and the dusty table wouldn't win, and it would be the Sheik. I would break their back, make them to be humble. All country way, no way any of these real punks will win the Royal Rumble because I'm the shooter.
That's right.
I'm the real.
That's right. Well, now that
Amen.
Amen, baby.
You said it perfect.
I love that you stuck to one sentence, Sheik. That was great. So
fuck you.
Sheik's never
have a good day.
Sheik's never short of words, guys. Even now in heaven, he still can break you down, humble you, and
very intelligent man. Excellent statement.
Excellent. Now, Weapon. We got a guest that's going to join us here shortly. He's his nature has called. His nature boy is about to drop out of his pants, and he will join us. His name is Mike Pinkerton. He also viewed the PLO. And speaking of the devil, here he is. Look at that, just on time, right on time. We got the man. He's joining. He's not a ton. He's a Pinkerton. And he's joining.
Mark Pink in the brand. You are late. You'd never been late to Shiki and talk about fucking Royal Rumble. You better respect the legend.
Yeah, baby. And then you have to hit that unmute button, baby Pinkerton. And then we got you on live. But then it will be recorded, and then it will be live again.
You're in my soul.
Oh shit! Hold on, before you say that.
Are you stupid son of a bitch? You cannot put the sound in your fucking computer?
Now he can. He can do it. Say it again. Say what you said, Mike.
Adrenaline in my soul. Zoom in a view. Unmute the microphone. Here I am, my legends of wrestling.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I like that, because Weapon
impersonate Iron Sheik every single freaking week. Who is that? It's secretly Weapon.
Weapon X, Mike Pinkerton. Welcome to Legend of Wrestling.
You said it perfectly.
You said it perfectly. XO, heart, XO. I see.
You said perfect.
I like the Horseman. One of the Horsemen is in the background. I love it. Yeah. Mike, let's get it going, man. Royal Rumble. Let's start from the end. So, who did you think? We all thought Punk was going to win it.
I did. I was hoping for Cody to win. I thought it might not happen, but
yeah,
I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I'm a huge Dusty Rhodes fan.
Yeah. You look like one of the Dusty. You look like one of the Rhodes. Yeah, so I get it. Yeah, you were the Road that's.
My ex told me I looked like the middle Animorph. You know, the Animorphs books.
Yeah.
She told me I looked like the middle Animorph between Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes. Like if
right.
Cody Rhodes was Animorphing into his dad, I'd be like the middle guy.
And then you gave her the good old what was Dusty's finisher?
Atomic or Bionic Elbow.
Bionic Elbow, baby. And you're like, you're out.
Oh no.
And then no, man.
You're fired.
I actually gave her the Bionic ultimatum of get some help.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, man. So
hey, you see this? It's a referral to a therapist.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the point of this whole podcast is that we all need therapy. And the bottom line on that note is that there was no appearance by The Rock as I had thought it would be.
Yeah.
He's behind the scenes now. He's part owner of the WWE. And no chance in hell that you would have seen Vince in there because he's gone. Vince
Yeah.
McMahon is gone from WWE. He has resigned.
Yeah.
And that's why we got Slim Jim back because they were also about to leave the company and end their contract. But they were like, Vince, you're fired. I wonder who told him that. You know what I mean? But that would have been funny. I wonder if it was Jason Schuster out of all people. But all right. We're going to recap Royal Rumble from top to bottom. We wanted to talk about the big ending that happened, and that was that Cody Rhodes, deservedly so won the Rumble, second time in a row in as many years.
Two-time
Royal Rumble winner. Now he's etched in history.
Yeah.
He's part of a small club now that have done that. And he immediately pointed at Roman, who was sitting in the booth back up there, and he already knows who he's going after. He's going to finish his story. Of course, the final two members were Punk and Rhodes, and that made perfect sense. It's almost like an AEW rivalry in WWE. It's kind of funny how that happened. But
that's a good point. Yeah.
So tell me, Pinkerton, what were your thoughts on the men's Royal Rumble and the finish?
Okay, I think first off, not regarding the finish, R-Truth was amazing in both Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, that could be one thing. The first person to be in both the women's and men's Royal Rumble. Yeah.
What's up?
He also had a tag team match in the middle of the Royal Rumble. That was another.
Oh man, no! The best part was when they were holding him back in the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He's like, "You mean to tell me all of them are women?"
I know that was good. That was funny.
He was
Nia Jax.
There was actually a little while I was kind of hoping, I was like, what if Dom Mysterio just kind of was like playing in the background for a really long time and won this one? It would be great.
That would have been the worst. That would have been the biggest heel move. You know, that's true. I could see that. Yeah,
taking a page out of Jerry the King Lawler's book.
What's that?
Laying outside the ring for an extended period of time until it's time to come in and try to win the Rumble.
Right. What I liked a lot of the moments in there. I like Drew McIntyre's frustration and he having a chip on his shoulder kind of deal because from his WWE title run where it was, in the what was it, the Thunderdome? Like that was his WrestleMania moment. So he's got a chip on his shoulder from that. No Brock Lesnar for obvious reasons. No Braun Strowman. There was nothing of those guys.
Well, I don't think Braun Strowman was signed.
He came back for a hot minute. Wasn't he tag teams with Ricochet? I thought he was tag teaming. He was tag teaming with.
Is it Braun Strowman?
Yeah,
but they did budget cuts recently.
They did.
They let a lot of wrestlers go, so he might have been one of them.
Now they got that $7 production money now, so they got.
Yeah, they used to tag for a little while.
They did tag for a while. See, I remember. What were your thoughts on the men's Rumble?
Well, I wanted Punk to win. I'm a Punk fan.
We all did, yeah.
I did not, but okay.
Oh, you wanted Cody to win? Yeah.
I was okay with either. I was like, I would like either.
That's right. You did want Cody to win.
I am okay with Cody winning, though.
Yeah.
I like to say many times on this podcast, if you're going to come up with a finish, make it make sense.
Yep.
And in this case, it did make sense. It made sense for Cody to finish his story. CM Punk is already on Raw, so all he really needs to do if he wants to go to WrestleMania is probably win the Elimination Chamber. He wouldn't have to make a switch versus Cody needed to win the Royal Rumble because he needed to make a switch to choose the champion.
Yeah.
So in the context of storytelling, it made sense.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. Cody actually deserves it. I thought he should have won last year. I thought it was a missed opportunity that he didn't, but they have a golden opportunity to somehow make up for this year. So yeah, happy.
I agree. I like it. It is worth mentioning. I did take notes. The three of us had some predictions as far as who's entering at what number. None of us got it right on number one. We
No.
didn't think. It ended up being Jay. I got to give myself credit here. I said then number 2 is going to be Jimmy, and I
Mhm.
told Weapon, and then it ended up being Jimmy.
That was true. Yeah.
You did say Cody would come in the between 10 and 15,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And he became, and then I called that watch Cody be next after the 14th entrant. I said watch Cody be
Wow.
the next one, and then it was 15. He was number 15. The craziest pick, I gotta give credit to Weapon. He called the final entrant, and he got it right.
Oh yeah.
He said it was gonna be
It was Sami
Sammy,
Zayn.
and in number 30th entrant, and that's hard to do because it could have been anyone. I thought it was
yeah.
gonna be The Rock,
Mhm.
but it ended up being Sami Zayn, and I'm happy it was.
Yeah.
I thought Logan
um,
Paul could have been it. I was considering,
Logan, yeah.
but
Logan Paul.
Well, I pretty much eliminated anybody out of my list that competed tonight.
it makes
Everybody
sense.
that
Yeah.
competed in the matches appeared in the Rumble match.
You're right, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There was only what 4 matches total?
Well, okay, so you had the 4 people in the main event.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or
then you had,
the Universal Title match. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then
We had the Women's Rumble. We had the
well, the women's rumble, obviously.
yeah.
The only way that would have happened is there might have been one woman, but I doubt it would have been at number 30.
Right. Yeah.
It would have kind of been a downer at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And then you had the United States Championship.
Yep.
So those 6 guys, I kind of took off my list.
Yeah.
I took out any woman off my list.
Yep.
And I kind of just narrowed it down to big names on the roster that we hadn't seen that aren't tied up in litigation or under contract.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And there were a few people, but I thought Sami Zayn was going to be the the big name.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
turned
That's
out,
great.
I narrowed it down.
And you kept that in your pocket until the very nearing the end.
Yeah.
You were like, I think it's Sami Zayn. I didn't even know, but there was no mention of him throughout the whole watch party. So, okay, I'm gonna run it down from top of the card to the bottom. Kickoff show was decent. I watched that. It was there was no matches on the kickoff, so we can move.
I wasn't
on
able to make it actually.
Yeah. So the
At the end of
kickoff
the
was
emergency.
there was nothing major to talk about. There was one moment. There was that was interesting between the fucking British guy that you do bad news, Wade Barrett.
I'm afraid
Yeah.
we'll have some bad news.
Yeah. He kind of gave a little insult to the commentator, the female lead. It's no longer what's her name here. I have the card here. The kickoff show was let's see. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan narrated the Open because that's his home, Florida, Clearwater area. That's where he's from.
Of course, saying,
Sorry.
what you gonna do
Yeah.
when the Royal Rumble runs wild on you?
Exactly. Yeah.
I did anyone watch the commercial and go, I mean, Hulk Hogan's endorsing this place. I guess I gotta go to Clearwater, Florida. Like,
Yeah.
Well, even
Um,
before the Rumble, I thought that I would have to go there someday just to visit Hogan's Beat Shop.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Shout out to Pratik, who's been on this podcast. He was in the shop today. He posted some photos of it on his story.
Did he buy anything?
I don't know if he bought anything. We'll have to bring him on to talk about that and him being at the Rumble, so he was there.
Great.
Okay, so the Women's Royal Rumble kicked off the pay-per-view or the premium live event tonight. Natalia was the number 1 entrant. Number 2, the return of, and it was rumored to happen, Naomi. She got a good pop. She just lost her TNA championship, knockout championship, to Jordan Grace, who also appeared on this Royal Rumble tonight. It was a good start, I thought. What were your guys' thoughts? What are some highlights from the women's Royal Rumble match? What did you guys think? Let's start with Weapon.
Well, I can at least say this much. I called the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble.
You sure
and I've
did.
called it weeks in advance.
And that winner was the number 3 entrant, Bailey. Weapon has been very confident about that pick, and he ended up being right. And I'm happy he was right because she deserves it. I think I think I don't know. I gotta look at the history books. I don't know if the
She
other.
got great responses.
She
She
did
got a
get-
lot of great responses from the crowd.
Listen, she's she's in a heel faction, right? Damage Control, and she's getting pops. You know who else is getting pops in a heel faction? Mommy. She's
Yep.
also getting pops. So if those two go at
But
it,
she's getting pops because mommy's always on top.
hey man, I'm gonna say yeah. Okay, yeah, that she's she's badass. Like
Yep.
I definitely think
From Tom and Nick Mysterio.
what's up? But yeah,
Here's your cut.
okay. So no Charlotte Flair. I think she's
Mhm.
still recovering from her injury.
Oh,
But
Jade Cargill.
Yep, Jade Cargill came back. That was I've been hoping for at least a tease between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and I was so happy we got that tonight.
The crazy thing about the women's rumble is, and it was uncanny, like literally almost everything, including the potential face-offs and feuds,
Yeah,
I had right. Like it was like I literally wrote the rumble
Right.
for the women.
right. You did. You did. You did.
Mhm.
You know what I'm happy I didn't see is the what did it like the nostalgia act. They didn't
Mhm.
bring back some old wrestlers female wrestlers that were
Yeah.
no longer. Although there was rumors AJ Lee was going to come back, but she
I
didn't.
also like the fact that they didn't throw in any clown gimmicks in there.
Yeah,
The closest thing
Um,
to it was Chelsea Green getting squashed,
yeah,
but it was still wrestling within the confines of the match. It wasn't this cheap outside stuff that Kofi Kingston has been doing for like 20 years, which, by the way, he did not do in today's Royal Rumble.
no, he didn't.
So,
Yeah, we'll talk about that too
yes.
as we get back to it. Mike, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm gonna be honest. One thing was I knew they were gonna have a few wrestlers who aren't necessarily in Raw or SmackDown in the women's, but I was kind of hoping for some more left field kind of picks, you know, in the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I think who would have been really great would be I don't know if y'all know Kelsey Heather from Impact. I think she would have been awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She
They only brought
made
one. They only brought one female wrestler, knockout wrestler from tonight, and that was their champion. So, yeah.
Well, they
But,
brought one female knockout and one acquisition from AEW.
Hmm.
Yes.
And-
Not
Or,
AEW, TNA.
Well, no, the
Oh,
acquisition from AEW would have been Jade Cargill.
Oh right, Jade
Oh, yeah.
Cargill. I thought you
I
meant
said
Naomi.
one person.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, Naomi came back, but
Yeah.
yeah. But and then obviously there's the Jordan Grace thing. But I thought that there might be the potential for them to bring back, and I wasn't expecting it or predicting it, but as a surprise entrance, I thought they were gonna bring in Camille from NWA because
Oh.
I heard that she's being heavily pursued by
Hmm.
WWE to sign a contract since she's actually leaving NWA.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would have.
They've been
I'll tell you
poaching a
about
lot of NWA talent lately.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, I would have. I'm gonna make a bet on. I think it'd be very obvious at some point within the next 5 years. We're gonna probably see Hollywood Haley J in a women's Royal Rumble. I don't know when it's gonna be, but it just feels like it's gonna happen. I don't know if y'all know who that is.
No, tell us.
So Hollywood Haley J is in OVW. She just became pretty big through the Wrestlers TV show.
Yeah.
Her mother's Amazing Maria, who's pretty much the closest thing to a famous female Mick Foley when it comes to hardcore matches.
Hmm.
Well known for bleeding.
Dang. All right, that would be dope. It behooves us to mention right now Mike Pinkerton, comic and in pursuit of
Yeah.
professional wrestling. He's
Mhm.
he's training right now. Why don't you
Sure.
plug that and tell us a little
Okay.
bit about where you are on that journey?
Sure. To be full disclosure, I decided to take this year this current time being just really focus on money. I've decided to make a New Year's resolution that I am going to try to make $100,000 this year
Hell yeah.
and really just get a good financial safety net in place. And maybe start training in March. I have been doing a lot of conditioning and yoga. which
Good,
has
man.
helped a lot. Oh, it was great too, actually. So my mom and her boyfriend caught a brief glimpse of Royal Rumble, and I was able to point to my mom out as, "Hey, that's the guy from PDP Yoga who hangs out in the back as Braun Breaker." And she was, "Oh yeah, I am," which is really great that she recognized. Yeah.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah.
You have you have uh focus, and I think you're gonna get all that. And then we'll split it three ways because Stone Cold said so. And no, I'm kidding.
You said it perfect.
Girl.
Shiki, you're in heaven right now. You need your medicine. You're not ready to split any more money. You took
You don't tell the fucking Shiki what the fuck to do. I'm the master. You're the student. You don't tell the master what to do.
You're right. You're right, Shiki. What can I
Oh man.
can
Hey,
I call you Vaziri on the camera? Is that the
You
praise?
better call me legend.
Legend Shiki.
This my show, legend of wrestling.
You're right,
Legend of
Shiki.
wrestling.
I'm just the jabroni that hits the record button. You're right. You're right.
You're Ahmadi.
I'm Ahmadi. I'm not even maniac for you.
Ahmadi, not Ahmadi.
It's okay.
I don't give a fuck whatever your name is.
Shiki, I expect more from you.
Listen, you better shut your mouth. Listen to the pink in the brain.
hey.
Pinky the
Now
Brain is
listen
even
real
wearing
quick,
pink.
everybody. My son won the Royal Rumble 2 times in a row.
Oh my God, I'm having
The
it.
hottest thing I've ever had to do is say that sentence as eloquently as I did. If you
Your son, he won a Royal Rumble 2 years in a row, but you were the polka dot.
You're the
Yeah.
polka dot. That's right. I feel like I'm interviewing in heaven right now. I've got the dream on one end, and I got the legend on the other. I shouldn't even be here. I feel like I should just let you two legends talk.
Well,
tonight.
if you let me assault Vince Russo,
And-
you'll have another person in heaven to interview.
And then and we're back on and that's just called Hell on Earth because Vince Russo's name just came up. So that isn't that is
Don't ever mention Vince Russo in the presence of wrestling wrestling fans and wrestling pundits.
Yeah.
Vince Russo does ruin the business, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, Cornette.
Let's not break kayfabe and continue talking about the Royal Rumble.
You're right, Cornette. That's right. And Cornette, this is our podcast. You have your own podcast and your own show. You should just do that. I'm sure
I
you're
thought Mike Lass was on this podcast.
my. That's true.
Well, damn it! I'm gonna go back to Kentucky then. You can have fun with the Sheik.
I will.
I was
Mike,
hoping
tell
to
us.
come on and talk about my brand, Collar on Elbow. I run a wrestling t-shirt company, and you might remember me back from the ECW. I used to hold a head, and I had this idea. I was thinking, well, I used to be Avatar, and that wasn't very good. And then I was part of the New Age, and that was like a rock group, New Rockers. No one remembers that unless you watch my doc. And then I thought, well, what can I do? So I was reading this book on abnormal psychology, and there was this lady who would think that objects were talking to her. So I got myself a mannequin head, and I started talking to it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Have you ever won a
You
Royal
said it
Rumble?
perfect.
Let me Google that real quick.
Because you got hit, you got a concussion in it,
I've
probably.
won a win a Royal Rumble one time.
Yeah.
I beat all the gimmick people at the WrestleMania.
No.
No, the most delayed reaction. I love it. And we're back to
The Royal Rumble.
this year's Royal Rumble. We got the women's Royal Rumble ended up being Bailey the winner, but the final three in the ring, and the number 30th entrant, Liv Morgan. Man, I love her, man. She's great. I love her little she's kind of cuckoo, kind of toes the line of like being a little bit mad.
Jade Cargill?
Jade Cargill was the other one, of course. Yeah. And for her to be the final three on her debut, in-ring debut,
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
just
big deal.
solidifying the fact that they're gonna push her.
Yes,
hard.
100%, 100%, because they didn't even have Bianca be there for the final three. So
And she hasn't even wrestled on NXT. So
yeah, this was her first match outside of AEW. So,
yeah.
Bailey winning it all. Mike, what were your thoughts on that?
I was not as familiar with Bailey, but I thought it was a great match.
Yeah.
I was kind of gunning for Jade. To be honest, I know a lot of people don't like talking about it, but I feel that the WWE has kind of been, I would say, in the same way people are getting very mad at the MCU or the Marvel movies for getting, when they are putting out hit after hit, the problem is a lot of those hits are feeling very familiar. Um, it's been nice to see other promotions starting to gain traction. I mean, it's kind of having one promo that is controlling everything is not helpful for the business, you know?
Of course. Yeah. I agree with that. But I will tell you this, since you said you're not as familiar, Bailey has she had an injury, I think, last year, and she
Wow.
was out. She was out of action
Yes.
for a long time, but she's been champion before, but it's been a long time since she held the woman's title.
She never won a Rumble up until
And
today.
she's never won a Rumble. I think Sasha has won. I gotta Google that. But Sasha Banks, I'm talking about the four horsewomen of WWE. It would have been Charlotte, Bailey, Sasha, and why am I forgetting the fourth member? Becky. Becky has won the Royal Rumble.
So has Charlotte.
Charlotte, and so has Sasha. So she was the final one. I don't know if Sasha's won. I gotta make sure I'm saying that correctly.
I believe she has.
I believe, yeah. But anyway, she's not in WWE anymore, Sasha. She's now Mercedes Moné, and clearly she's not back because there was rumors she would be back.
I think that the negotiations with her fell out.
Yeah,
that she's leaning towards AEW,
which is good. Which is good. They need a big name. AEW needs a big women's wrestling name that's not originally from AEW.
But aside from that, I'm happy with Bailey because they've been WWE lately has been pretty good.
Yep.
In their long-term booking as of late.
They are
telling stories over a long term and a slow build.
And they're sticking to their
That's what this Bailey thing has been. It's slowly been her group trying to mutiny against her at the same time.
Yep.
Slowly turning her face. She's still helping her group, obviously, but at some point, with her winning the Rumble and with one of the current champions being her stablemate, it just makes perfect sense in the scheme of things to have her win and then develop that storyline moving forward. Like I say, sometimes I may not necessarily like the end result, but as long as WWE or any wrestling promotion for that matter can make it make sense to where I'm not scratching my head and saying, where did that come from? Then I still give them credit for good long-term booking, and I'm satisfied with the result.
Yeah, I liked it too. Mike, you were kind of indifferent about it because you chose Jade to win it. You know what's funny is so you're 1 for 2. You had Cody winning one and Jade winning the other. So that's 50% is good.
Yeah, Jade was still, I believe, what, top 3?
Yeah, you had 50% as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't think I chose someone to win the women's. I think I said I knew there was going to be a moment with Nia Jax and Becky. But
did you pick someone last week?
Did I? I feel like I don't know if we did a prediction on that. But I know
even off panel.
Yeah, you did say Bailey even last week. So
I stuck to her for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So anyway, I feel like if I were to choose one, I would have chosen probably Shayna Baszler. But I just feel like she's due for her run. She hasn't had it. But anyway, Bailey wins it. Congratulations to Bailey. And you think she's eventually going to be turning face, which is already in the works. And Damage Control is going to turn on her based on what you're predicting. And I think it's kind of on the wall now.
There'll be a tease. It's not going to be immediate because now she still thinks that she's still cool with her Damage Control's stablemates that have been alienating her. But I believe at first they're going to still act like they're cool and try and convince her to go after mommy instead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But eventually, there's going to be some sort of turning point
Yep.
where she's just going to make the full face turn and decide to go after Io instead. But there's definitely going to be a tease for a few more weeks.
I agree. I think that I said this when we were watching the match. I was saying Bailey facing Rhea Ripley is a more riveting kind of match because she would be the underdog in that match, and then for her to win, to beat Rhea Ripley at Mania, that would be like WrestleMania 3 type of hype, like beating the unbeatable, right? Because she's kind of ran roughshod through the women's division right now. Like
we still have that tease now, though. Even though I don't like it because for personal reasons, and obviously because of the injury history.
Yeah.
But we did get the tease that I had talked about, and I was really suspicious about going into this was Jade Cargill and Nia Jax.
Yeah. That slam was Hogan Andre-esque, right? So she body slammed her, and then
she does call herself the irresistible force.
Jade, yeah.
What is it? What's that saying that they say even when they talk about Hogan and the Giant?
Yeah.
I mean, Andre the Giant, the irresistible force
and the
means
immovable object. Yeah. I don't know if they'll use those words for this, but maybe.
I mean, it would be cliche, but Nia Jax already calls herself the irresistible force.
Right. So. Nia Jax does that, but also Andre didn't call himself that. That was done.
No, they coined that later on. I don't think they actually used that phrase during that storyline when it happened back in the day.
Yeah.
I think as the years go on, they took a one-off that somebody said on commentary and built it up over the years to be what it is. Because I do think Gorilla Monsoon did say it once during the match, but it wasn't billed that way through the promo.
Right.
Yeah.
Another legend, Gorilla Monsoon.
What a guy.
Rest in peace. All right. So
we're gonna get someone who can impersonate Gorilla Monsoon on the show. I'm just trying to think. He might be kind of.
Can you do it? Are you?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to really look up some old. I learned something crazy, I guess. So, someone that used to produce for WWF also made a bingo show called Bingo Break.
Okay.
And Gorilla Monsoon was the host under his real name, Gino Morella. Yeah, so he would go by Gino. And it was just a normal, like, non-wrestling related show about bingo. Like what you would do is you would go buy a card.
Yeah.
Or go get a card, and then you would flip into the bingo break during your lunch break, and it was on TV.
That's funny. That's great.
Well, that's like a wrestling trivia question.
That is a wrestling trivia question.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of wrestling trivia, who won the first Royal Rumble? You guys probably know this.
Hacksaw
Jim Duggan.
Really nice.
Yeah. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Well, that was I got a trivia question for you. He won the first official Royal Rumble.
Right.
You know there was a Rumble match before that wasn't official. It was like an experimental Royal Rumble match. Like it was a battle royal, but they didn't build it as the Royal Rumble, but it's still over the top. Before they turned it into an annual event.
Yeah.
Who won that?
Man, I don't know. I probably was in Pakistan when that happened. But yeah. Who was it?
The One Man Gang.
The One Man Gang. Wow. No wonder I didn't remember.
Yeah, that's a trivia question.
That is a trivia question.
I recently found out because I was doing a lot of Rumble history digging, preparing for this event.
This is good. We're gonna do a Royal Rumble, best Royal Rumble moment episode, and that's coming. So everybody stay tuned.
Love that.
Yeah. By the way, comment on what you guys thought on this episode, and hit the subscribe button, you jabronis. But yeah, moving on. Undisputed WWE Universal Championship Fatal 4-Way.
Which I did not think that was going to follow up the men's Royal Rumble. Did you?
The women's Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah,
women's Royal Rumble. Yeah.
You stand correct. I stand correct.
That's right.
But I still stand by my statement. I didn't think it was going to follow up the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah, to be the second. Well, and then I shared my theory about it. I thought the reason they're having it happen that early is because the three of people who don't win are probably going to go in the Rumble, right? But that didn't happen either. So. Yeah. So Anyway, it is what it is. So we had Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Dummy. And then versus the champion, the tribal chief,
Yes.
almost 1,300 days as champion, Roman
I spent
Reigns.
100 of them
Shout
defending.
out to LA Knight for bringing the dummy back on SmackDown.
He did bring it back. That's right. That's right. With the wise man Paul Heyman by Roman's side. What did you think of this, Mike? How did you think of?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I can't tell anymore if the WWE is trying to make Roman Reigns like it feels like they're deliberately trying to create like go away heat around him,
What?
like go away heat or X Pac kind of heat.
Okay.
You remember when X Pac would come out and people weren't booing X Pac because he's a heel; they were booing X Pac because they didn't like him. You know?
Oh, like white heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're trying to make people legitimately not like Roman Reigns.
The irony in that is that
Yeah.
the first 5 years they were trying to push Roman Reigns, people didn't like him.
He already had
Mhm.
white heat.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had white heat. They finally figured out the formula to get him to be favorable.
Yeah.
And now you're saying no, let's go back to that. That would be hilarious.
It makes sense. I mean, it feels like there's so much creative control, like plot armor protecting Roman,
Yeah.
that you just want to see it even more that he gets knocked out, you know?
I know, but that's good though. That's a
Yeah.
good
Oh,
thing.
yeah, it is.
Because that makes you want to watch.
That's
Mhm,
what puts
absolutely.
asses in seats
Exactly.
and sells tickets.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the real, like, okay, so
You can't have a face without a
If
good
you-
heel.
if you wanted to compare it to something in real life, like in, I wouldn't say real life, that's the wrong term. If you wanted to compare it to another athletic sport,
Mhm.
look at what happened when they used to promote Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
It got to a point where people would just buy tickets solely so that they could see who would be the man to beat Floyd Mayweather.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what it's come down to now. Roman does still have his contingency of fans, and they solidly support him.
Mhm.
I personally think that the Bloodline storyline has kind of run its course at this point,
I think it
Yeah.
got life
But-
again tonight though.
but they got lucky with being able to basically with the fact that they still got a strong reaction because they that was at risk.
And what was that lucky? Why was that lucky? You're talking about the J Jimmy moment?
No, I'm talking about like the fact that that at the end of the night, because Cody gets to finish his story,
Yeah.
that it's like a revitalized
Yeah.
attempt to go back and right the wrong of last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now that being said, focusing on this match, I got sucked into the rumor mill, and he
Yeah.
and Pedge accused me of being lazy because usually I'm pretty on point with a lot of things, but it screwed up two of my predictions tonight
Yeah.
because me believing in a certain rumor caused me to totally rearrange the way I would have thought both of these matches would have finished, both the men's Royal Rumble and the main event. That being said, I did think that the match was very, very good, very entertaining. Everybody got their spots in.
Yeah.
The only critique that I had about it was Solo coming back and doing the same thing that every
Yep.
Bloodline member has pretty much done
Yep.
with the same hoodie for the past like 4 years.
Right.
Other than that, it made sense.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Styles to eat the pin.
All right.
Well, I didn't expect Roman to win, but
So
he did.
Roman won for people who are wondering. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Roman.
But I didn't expect Styles to eat the pin. But
You-
again, it's one of those things where I said make it make sense, and it did because he was the one guy that let his ego get in the way
Yeah.
of letting everybody else get their licks in, and ultimately he got in both of the faces' way
Yeah.
and allowed Roman to win based off of those mistakes.
And yeah, so Web, you predicted that Roman drops the titles tonight, but
But that was based on
Right.
my belief that there, as was rumored,
The
that
Rock.
there was possible
Yeah.
Rock Roman WrestleMania. Now
Yeah.
that it's clear that it's not happening,
Yeah.
like I said, I allowed the rumor mill to influence my decision, and I was off.
Weapon X, you fucking mark.
Yeah, I marked out tonight. I marked out tonight.
I did predict that Roman retains. I didn't know how it would finish though. Like you said, the AJ taking the pin was the right move because it protected the two other good guys in the match, being Randy and LA, so they can continue to push. Mike, did you think Roman would retain tonight?
I was actually really hoping for it not to happen, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, it would be really cool to see it at Royal Rumble, but it would be such a WrestleMania kind of thing to happen.
With that much, with being that close to WrestleMania, I thought it
Yeah.
would be foolish for them to do that. It would break the internet,
Oh, yeah.
but it would have also, I think that would have probably gotten more heat over time because they would be like, why would you ruin that? Because if you guys recall, some of the biggest championship changes have always happened at one of the round numbers of 10, 20, or I don't know about 10, but 20. WrestleMania 20 was the Benoit year, right? WrestleMania 30 was Daniel Bryan, and now 40. It just makes sense. Now,
But remember, they've also done what you're saying was unpredictable too. Remember, Punk lost to The Rock prior to prior to WrestleMania,
right?
in order to lose to John Cena at WrestleMania.
Right.
So it's not unheard of for them to lose a match in a event moving forward to WrestleMania to set something bigger up. That's why I got thrown off. Because I figured if there was going to be a Rock Roman main event, then it would make sense for Roman to drop the title, then to have a title match, and then at WrestleMania, and then Rock Roman to have their own event.
Yeah.
Make that unpredictable because the title is not on the line. But like I said, I got thrown off by the rumor mill. I was off on this prediction as well as the Men's Royal Rumble.
Yep.
As a result, although the Men's Royal Rumble, it was less because of the prediction and more it was just, it could have been any one of those two guys. It was a coin flip.
I think Punk, in you're talking about the Mania 29, I believe, or 29, when going into it, Punk lost to Rock, and at that time, Punk was the longest reigning champion in modern WWE history, which was it was north of 400 days. And guess who was by his side? The wise man, Paul Heyman.
Oh.
So again, you can see how this would make sense.
Yeah. I know, but this is, with all due respect to Punk, who is my favorite wrestler currently. This is way bigger than that, and they wouldn't waste almost beating. Who's the next one he's going to catch? It would have to be Hogan, right? That's the next.
But he won't catch Hogan
until September.
September.
Yeah. And that means he'd have to retain at Mania.
He'd have to retain all past Survivor Series.
Past Survivor Series.
Not not Survivor Series. Past SummerSlam.
Past SummerSlam. So we shall see. So now we know that he's going into Elimination Chamber. I don't think he's fighting at Chamber. I don't think Roman's fighting at Chamber. I think they're gonna save him till Mania. Yeah, so Roman retains. Solo interferes to the dismay of the audience
And me.
in Clearwater. Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see where that goes. It is intriguing. Who's going to be in that main event picture? Obviously, Cody will. I don't think LA Knight and Randy are going to be in this picture. They might have a match of their own at Mania.
I actually think that I'm not sure what lies ahead for Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I think the program's going to be LA Knight and AJ Styles.
Really?
Because they're the ones that were battling each other most throughout this feud period. Randy would just watch them fight half the time and just do what Randy does as the Apex Predator, the Viper, take advantage of a situation. But the real heat, every time you watch the promos leading up to the event, it was always Styles and LA Knight going at it. That's because Styles was of the firm belief that LA Knight stepped over him to get that opportunity. So there's that heat there. I don't know where Randy's going to fit into the equation, but there's no way they don't do something with Randy.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. it's definitely intriguing because now I'm curious to see. By the way, Mike, you're not aware of this, or maybe you are, but for the last 6 months, Weapon and I have been fantasy booking where the title is going to be changing hands. This Royal Rumble prediction was kind of left field because we before the Royal Rumble happened, we thought it was going to happen at Mania, which is I still do.
Our
But
original prediction actually still, because of this turn of events,
Right.
our original prediction now is still intact.
intact.
Which is Cody finishing at Mania.
But you said Cody would finish at Mania.
Yeah.
I said Cody's going to win, but it's just brief because then Damian Priest is going to cash in on Cody on a depleted Cody Rhodes. But now
But he would still complete that story.
he would complete that story. It was
and it
almost,
would move on to a
it
new
would
one.
it would have been like a robbery of the century if
It
that happened.
would have been what happened when
Seth.
well, no, well, Seth did that too, but there was you remember when Daniel Bryan first won the title and then they robbed him within 10 seconds with Sheamus?
Yeah. That was
That didn't happen at Mania, but that was
that did happen at Mania.
no, that didn't happen.
That was at Mania. It was
No, because Mania the next year was him having to fight Randy
and Batista.
And Batista that happened mid-year. Remember, he won the title for 10 seconds.
No, I know what you're saying.
Sheamus
Yeah.
cashed in the Money in the Bank,
Yeah.
and they screwed him.
But that was at Mania because it was an outdoor match. I remember it was an outdoor.
Well,
match.
no, I never said that happened in Mania. I said that happened mid-year.
No, I'm
and
saying
that's why-
when Brian lost it in 18 seconds.
No, that was a different match. That was a record-setting match. No, look it up. There's a
10 seconds. You said not Sheamus. He lost it to Sheamus in 18 seconds.
no, that was a WrestleMania.
Yeah,
match.
that's what I'm talking about.
There's another event. I'll go. We'll
Yeah.
this
We'll look it
live
up. Yeah.
later.
Comment
But,
if you know which one.
Oh, you
so
know what
if
a
you want to
bit-
make corrections, whatever, and you know what this is or what I'm talking about, or if it's wrong, go ahead, comment in comments. I will say the one thing before that we move on though from this.
Yeah.
I think Randy Orton, after being in the business for so long,
Yeah.
I could tell.
Mhm.
I was watching his facial expressions
Mhm.
leading up to this match, and even during the match, he really appreciates
Yeah.
the pop that LA Knight is getting.
Yeah.
Like if you've been watching, like just how he looks at LA Knight during the promos, or like even during certain moments in the match.
Mhm.
Like, I'll give you an example. Remember when Randy did that slam on the table
Yeah.
to I believe it was to Roman,
Yeah.
and then LA did the same one
Yeah.
to AJ, and he went, yeah.
Yeah.
You could see the look on Randy's face. He's truly enjoying it. He loves LA Knight's work. He
Yeah,
really seems
he
to
does.
respect them.
He does.
So, like, LA Knight is doing a great, fantastic
I
job.
love it. I
I
love
like
it.
him. I think he honestly I really wanted to during the what was it called, the four-way, what was that called again?
Fatal 4-way. Yeah.
Fatal four-way. At first I was like, I would really like to see someone take it from Roman. I don't know who it's gonna be. I would like someone to do it.
Yeah.
LA Knight during that match won me over as the guy who should get the belt. If it was gonna be if it was gonna be won by someone else in that match, I think LA Knight could have been the one to do it. He won me over in that match. It sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but
Yeah. I think he is next to get
Yeah.
that big title.
oh yeah,
After Cody finishes his story.
He's been doing it all year.
Yeah.
Winning fans one by one.
yeah.
He's gonna
with his mic work
Yep.
and with his in-ring work. He's been doing it all year.
He's gonna get the Daniel Bryan treatment when Daniel Bryan basically took Raw. He basically occupied Raw. Remember when?
Well, he's gonna have the movement.
Exactly. Instead of the yes, it would be the yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
dummy.
Dummy. Yeah. All right.
Really guy.
After this match, we had a Jelly Roll appearance by ringside.
Why does everybody think I look like Jelly Roll without the tats?
You do. You do look like Jelly Roll. You also
Well,
look like. You
when-
actually look like.
when my beard is grown out a little bit more. I had
Right.
to trim it for some reasons, but yeah.
You actually look like Kevin Owens and Jelly Roll had a baby. That's what you look like. So and that's okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
And
Hopefully, I'll be the baby that wins the world title.
that's right. You will. You're the champion. Remember.
Yeah, I recently saw something great. It was a Mean Gene Okerlund cosplay.
Okay.
But it was done by a rather round, portly guy, and people were saying he looks more like Paul Heyman dressed up as Mean Gene.
That's good.
But
But
I would love to see. Have they ever also touched on Paul Heyman's relationship with Dusty Rhodes in the
yes, they have.
Yeah.
They have because last year actually,
Last year.
when the Cody was vying for Roman's title,
Oh, yeah.
Paul cut an amazing promo and he
Mhm.
brought up Dusty, and then
Yeah.
he said, and then Roman had a promo where he's like, "Your dad chose me, not you." At NXT, he's like, when he was training, he's like, he knew that I'm gonna be the next champion or championship
Mhm.
caliber. So that was a heated. Those were some really deep cut promos that Roman cut. Those were some of his best work, I think.
That's okay though, because hard times bring better men.
That's right.
Hard
That's right.
time.
Hard times, baby.
Hard times.
Hard time.
Another favorite wrestler of mine currently is Kevin Owens, and that was the next match.
Mhm.
KO versus Logan Paul, the
Incredible.
YouTube sensation. But I respect Logan Paul, man. He's learned the wrestling game
Yeah.
in short order, and he knows psychology. He knows he doesn't shortcut on the moves. He's actually putting time to learn them the right way. He's an athlete. We got to give him that. He's an athlete. And he's the United States champion. I like the finish of this match because you and I both marked out when KO got the brass
It
knucks.
almost had us. It actually had us on the edge of our seat because I had predicted that Logan was going to win.
Yeah.
And
I predicted KO would win. Yeah.
But then when we saw the finish, we were on the edge of our seats because of no way.
Yeah.
And then I thought I was about to. A matter of fact, I said it out loud before.
Yeah.
Before I saw what the ref had done, I was like, "Well, I was wrong," and I was like, "No, wait,
Yeah.
I was right."
Yeah. You know, that was masterfully done by all parties involved. I think the ref. I did not even notice the brass knuckle when he was counting to 3. I noticed it when he pointed at Kevin's hand, and that's when I was like, "Oh shit!" You know, that was very well done.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Mike? What'd you think of that match?
So first off, where there was definitely the aspect of with Logan Paul, hey, this is just some guy off YouTube who's, too big for his britches, doesn't gained a lot of clout by, impressing 14-year-olds with crossing the line pranks.
Yeah.
And then in the past, I'm trying to think, 8 years or so, he's really grown.
He's rebranded himself, both in boxing and but more so in pro wrestling. I think he's really shown that he can hang.
If we were dealing with 2018 Logan Paul, I think that it would be a very different story. We would probably be seeing who was the luchadora or the Mexican female Mexican wrestler who she had kind of botched some moves by going for too long and injuring some wrestlers she was going against.
In WWE or AEW?
I think AEW, and they said she'll never be coming back to AEW.
Oh, you know what that was? I don't think it was in AEW. I think it was TNA.
Ring of Honor.
And Ring of Honor, TNA, and then she was actually in AAA.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Sexy Star.
It might have been. I think it might have
broke
been
someone's arm.
I could have seen that happening.
Intentionally, yes.
Oh wow.
She claimed she did, but she.
I remember this story. So wait, what is your?
She was in AAA at the time, and I think that she was. Remember that they had that promotion for a while that John Morrison was a part of and everything. It was themed after like the the Latino temple, like the Mayan temples and everything.
Yeah.
What was it called? Jeez. Ricochet was a part of it, but he had a mask on.
Right.
Like the name of the organization slips my mind.
Oh, you're talking about Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
Lucha Underground.
Sexy Star was a big star.
Yeah.
One of their big stars, and while she was in AAA after Lucha Underground went
Yeah.
under,
I love that. I love that.
she was in a
company.
match, and she actually I think it was Rosemary
Yeah.
that she might have been wrestling, and she broke her arm for real.
Wow.
They put her in a real arm bar, and they said that she never wrestled again. I think she's doing MMA right now.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah. What was
your-
your?
what
What
was-
was? I want to know your
Oh,
connection
yeah.
here.
I think we might have been dealing with something where if we were dealing with like Logan Paul at age 20 or 21, it might be more a situation where probably dealing with a lot of X-Pac heat, kind of, or white heat.
Yeah.
More so than now. He would, I mean, but if you look at like just the way during the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020, how he started pushing fans to be anti-racist. That's the growth that he had to make, kind of as a person, probably has made him a better wrestler too.
Probably. Yeah.
That's true for a lot of folks. I think a lot of people that I heard a really great analogy where someone said, telling wrestling fans that there is a kayfabe element to wrestling and therefore you shouldn't like it. It's like saying, well, the Muppets, you shouldn't be a fan of the Muppets. Actually, there's a hand in that frog dude, that frog guy and then the pig lady.
Hmm.
Those are puppets. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Why are you a fan of the Muppets? Do you like the Muppets? You shouldn't like the Muppets.
Yeah. Or any movie.
Muppets Mayhem. You shouldn't even like the Muppets Mayhem. That wasn't even, it's actually not even the original people. They got new people in the Muppets.
Yeah.
Wait, is he saying
But,
Kermit is like a Muppet?
He's saying Kermit has a hand up his ass. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's not a frog?
No, he's been frogged though, for sure.
Oof.
But no, I get it. Logan, Logan has come a long way from his early days of being a just
Discovering dead bodies in Japan.
yeah, crazy shit. Yeah, I
About
think
Elfin Room?
he's earned. I think he's earned the respect of the locker room. And that's why they worked with him. Kevin Owens wouldn't have worked with him if he didn't like him. And
my only desire, in terms of booking Logan Paul, is I wish he wasn't a part-time wrestler.
yeah,
Because he is that talented.
yeah,
I do wish that he would put more of his time into dedication
yeah,
into the craft of pro wrestling, because he is skilled at it. It's not that I'm angry at him.
yeah.
It's more or less that I want to see more of him and how fast he could develop if he really put all of his time into it.
Yeah, that's true, man. I think the Logan boys are what do they call that? Like they started with, I don't know what their upbringing was, if they were spoiled or if they had to earn what they have, but they're definitely not shy of hard work. They're putting in the work. I get what you're saying, but it's the same criticism we can give. Like,
Well, it's not a critique. It's more of, for me, it's more of like something I'd like to see.
right?
You know, I'm not criticizing, because honestly,
Especially when he's champion.
what they're doing with him right now,
Yeah,
is they're obviously doing this for business reasons.
yeah,
To build up that intrigue. They actually want him to be that guy that doesn't compete regularly and thinks
right.
he's too good to do that. So from a business aspect, I don't have any complaints.
I'm not mad at that, though.
I'm more interested, but as a fan,
Yeah,
as a fan that admires his
you want to
talent,
see him more. Yeah,
I want to see him more and see what he's capable of doing if he were to put all his time into it.
I think
But
honestly,
I'm not mad at it.
I think honestly, like the amount that we are seeing him is what's keeping his bag of tricks interesting. Because if he's showing his bag of tricks like every Monday on Raw, then it's not going to be as fun. It's not going to be as interesting. Because right now we're enjoying it because we still can't believe that he can do shit like that, and that's what makes it intriguing. Because it's like, oh man, he landed that lariat, he landed that like that spot he had with Ricochet last year in the Rumble. That was crazy. Like,
but it's kind of underselling him in a way. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're totally right, but I'm saying if we were to think of him that way, does that mean that we're underselling him? Does that mean overselling him?
yeah,
And that
I don't know.
in the sense that if he continues to be a regular on TV, that he can't entertain us the way that he does right now.
Yeah,
Because I mean, for example, so the greats always did. Austin and The Rock were constantly on TV when they were wrestling, and they
That's
found
true.
new and innovative ways to entertain us this week, every week. Sorry, but like, is that what we think of Logan? Is that he can't, or can he? And that's what interests me. That's all I'm saying.
I'll give you. I don't disagree with you. I will. There is an asterisk to what you just said about Austin and The Rock on their initial runs, and that was that they were on top for maybe 7 to 8 years, and then they both dipped, right? But
7 to 8 years is still a long time.
no, it is.
There
but
are people like the guy that we saw tonight, Austin Theory, that can't hold our attention.
of course,
From one SmackDown to another.
no, I agree. But what I'm saying is, there's a better example of it, and that's John Cena. John Cena was constantly on TV, but you either love to hate him or you were a fan,
But you were still glued to the
and
TV.
you were still glued to TV. Like
Yeah.
that's why
Polarizing was good.
John Cena was.
I just want to see, can Logan Paul do that kind of stuff?
Let me see,
It
yeah.
just intrigues me. I'm
Yeah.
not mad at what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just have questions
Yeah.
in terms of, like, like, it's like saying if we were watching basketball,
Yeah.
what if Jordan actually put the same amount of time into his practice time as Kobe Bryant did? Would he be even better than what we remember?
I know.
Or it's like speculating,
Or-
if he hadn't taken those initial 2 years off,
Yeah.
would he won an 8 straight, or would he never have even won the other 3?
That's
Who
right.
knows?
That's right. I know. And the current version of that is LeBron. He's hated by many because he's been around for so long and at an
But he's still consistently entertained
at peak level. Yeah.
peak level. So, like,
Um.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe the audience can comment with their thoughts.
If I didn't like him, I'd just tell you to take him off TV, like Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory, man. Oh my God.
Oh God, he almost hit. I think he almost hurt someone again. in
Jesus Christ.
this Rumble.
Yeah, I know. So KO, the finish, I think, for that was very, very good, as we discussed. It was well done, and it made sense, and it was good. Now here's my.
It was actually, not only did that one make sense, it was masterfully done.
Yeah.
It had us on the edge of our seats, wondering what just happened. So
Yeah.
that was actually, if we're not giving ratings today, but if we were, that would be an A plus. It's one of those few matches that I actually give an A plus to.
I agree. But here's what I want to do: real callback to the Fatal 4-Way. Mike, you might know this. Is a Fatal 4-Way no disqualification? Because there was a chair involved in the middle of that match, and AJ used it, and the ref is just watching and not saying it. I did not know that the Fatal 4-Way has no DQ. Apparently, it doesn't. Yeah,
I was unaware at first, but to be also fair, I haven't seen a lot of the 4-way match. I've seen plenty of tag team, but
yeah. I've seen there's
It's
a
a
lot
rare
of triple
one.
threats, but I think triple threats are DQ.
I've seen Fatal 4-Ways, but I've seen them in different companies with different rules.
Exactly.
And the thing is, that's the problem. And I think that's what you're trying to bring up. I don't care if there's no disqualification in a Fatal 4-Way, but
you should mention it.
the thing is, that should be a rule that's established at the beginning of the match.
Yep.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be looking at it confused as
Yeah.
if it was one of those things where is the WWE just overlooking it,
Yeah.
or does it make sense because that's a part of the rule?
Right.
They had that problem. Remember when it wasn't that exact problem.
Yeah.
But remember when they stopped that match with The Fiend and Seth Rollins?
Oh my God.
And
Worst
we didn't
ending.
know whether that it was a part of the rules or not.
Right.
Because they never established it.
Ruin that.
This is a similar situation.
Yeah.
You gotta establish the rules,
Yeah.
no matter what they are, at the beginning of the match, or at least sometime during the commentary when it's happening. so that we're not like left baffled. That
You
was
know,
really weird.
You know who's great at that is Jim Ross. He thinks like the fan. He thinks like the audience. So if he sees something that's not normal in a match that hasn't been touched on, he mentions it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is a no DQ. This is a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
But you know,
Don't forget to buy my barbecue sauce
Right.
while you're watching the match
he definitely reminds us of
on
that.
WWEshop.com. Or I guess I don't know. Do they sell it at the AEW shop now?
It's his brand. I'm sure he does.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that he has his own website
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was just wondering because when it was his
WWE though
brand-
plugged the shit out of it.
Yeah, WWE actually used to sell it on their website.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just wondering if they sell it on the AEW.
I don't think he
site
needs
now.
it to be plugged anymore. I think it's a
Yeah,
very
actually,
good. It's doing really well. Yeah.
You can go to an AEW event and they'll give you they'll give you like a ringside shooter of the sauce. It's great.
Yeah. I love it.
You don't drink, right, Paige? You just
Yeah, I'm straight to the edge.
I'll take
Okay,
it.
so you can do would you do a JR shooter with me? It's just pure barbecue sauce.
Out of barbecue sauce? That's crazy. I'll do that though. Yeah. Is it super
By
strong?
God, I'll do it. It's a slobber knocker.
I might be drooling afterwards, but yes.
Yeah.
Just bring some brisket.
Well, you also got to get Jim Cornette. Isn't he still sponsored by Manscaped or like what's the whole?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not damn tired of everybody talking about wrestling when you can't even keep kayfabe on for 5 seconds. You could describe the rules of the match. It's a shit show. It sounds like Vince Russo was trying to book Crash TV or whatever he calls that piece of garbage. Vince Russo, if I ever see you in the streets, I will kick your ass. I would pay $1 million right now to throw you in a boxing ring, and we can handle this right now. You are a piece of trash. You called the authorities and issued a restraining order, called me a terrorist, making terrorist threats because I wrote a letter to Terry Taylor stating why I want to kick your ass.
All right.
My God. You was so good that you got Mike Pinkerton to disappear. And that is exactly what
Hey, guys.
it's about.
I am practicing my Jim Cornette, but Mr. Avocado is the king.
Yeah, Mr. Jason Acevedo, also known as Jason Avocado. He is the man, and we should have a fatal four-way between Dusty Rhodes, Iron Sheik, Jim Cornette, and the modern day Maharaja. By the way, I never made it in the Royal Rumble. What the hell?
What
You
about
are part of the 3MP. And with Drew McDonald and the Wendy's.
And the Heath Slater.
Here's a Wendy's piece of shit, motherfucker. Okay, his picture is on the fast food restaurant.
God damn it. Oh my God. All right. Final main event. We started it with this. Obviously, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso kick it off. And then it took a real bad dip because nobody likes the Waller effect. Grayson Waller comes in and it took and he cut a promo. I think that was the first time we had an entrant get on the mic. Although
Grayson Waller is somebody that I can't stand. And it's a real shame that we have to go and watch more of the Waller effect in Australia when we have to rest. What pay-per-view are we watching then, mate?
we was watching the Royal Rumble tonight.
No, I mean, where are they going? They're going to Perth.
They're going to Perth, Australia for the Elimination Chamber.
Crikey. They're going to Perth, Australia. The only good thing about that is mommy, and she's always on top, mate.
Yes. Let it be known.
Taking a walkabout with Dominic Mysterio, and they're going to play with his didgeridoo.
All right. Speaking of returns during the Rumble, this one was pretty hot, and it was rumored because he did just leave AEW. El Idolo, Andrade,
and he came with the El Idolo music.
He did come with the El Idolo music. That's becoming common where the theme musics are being shared. However, it's a one-way street right now.
But are they going to call him El Idolo? That's the question.
Yeah, we shall see.
They
When
said
he was in
Mexican Idol.
WWE,
They
he
didn't
was
call him
solely
Mexican Idol. That's
Andrade when he left, and before that he was Andrade Cien Almas.
Right.
Now are they gonna call him Andrade El Idolo or just Andrade?
Well, remember that was a Vince move to make sure he kept the WWE.
But that's what I'm saying. The WWE, regardless of who owns it, they own the Andrade. Like,
but I think he was Andrade. He owns Andrade El Idolo
yeah.
himself.
Well,
so,
he owns the Andrade part, I think.
for sure. Well, that's his name.
But I don't know
Yeah.
if he'll be able to use El Idolo here
Yeah.
or if that's something that maybe is the reverse where AEW owns it.
Maybe we shall see. But yeah, definitely the music was there. Andrade returned. What'd you think, Mike? Of Andrade coming back to WWE?
he's someone I haven't seen much of.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good fight. He was
He's a respected luchador.
Yeah.
He started his career obviously in Mexico and he got a lot of attention and then came into WWE.
oh yeah,
Second generation.
I think he's second generation as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is. And then he hopped over to AEW. I thought they booked him horribly in AEW and that's why he left. And now he's back. Speaking of
they'll pretty much
luchadors,
get anybody though. It seems like the thing is, if you're in the WWE to any extent, especially if you're a Hall of Famer and you're not Donald Trump, come give Tony Khan a call. He'd love to talk to you.
Right. Tony Khan,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking Mark.
There was a rumor that MJF would appear tonight, but because his contract talks, which we can talk about on another episode, are apparently shaky right now with Tony Khan.
Not only that, he's been taken off of the AEW alumni website.
Oh
Damn. All
So
right.
he's no longer on there.
no,
Because his contract is up.
Website.
Yeah.
But as far as AEW stars were concerned, I told you that I didn't think, but there was I thought it would have been cool as a possibility
Mhm.
if, along with Andrade, Miro, aka Rusev, would have came over.
Yeah. But he's still under contract with them, so
But
and
he's been trying to leave.
and he just got his wife to get over on AEW. So we
He's
shall.
also not happy there.
He's not. But I think Tony.
Rusev Budnya, Rusev Machka.
Later on in the Men's Royal Rumble, Bobby Lashley. I think they need to strip Bobby Lashley from the profits.
Okay, before you even get to Bobby Lashley, let's just touch on this really quickly. What is going on? Because they didn't explain it. As far as I could remember, and you brought this up, Shinsuke Nakamura entered the Royal Rumble.
Yes, he did.
With his face music.
Yes, he did.
And he was getting cheered.
Yeah. There was no build up to that. There was no switch. He's been a heel with those dark promos. He had him with Seth. He also had him with Cody. I don't know what's happening with that. And as far as I know, on Raw, which he's on, there was no sign of him turning. In fact, I don't even think he was on Raw. I could be wrong. But anyway, yeah, that made no sense. I agree. I don't know, Mike, if you knew that he's been a major heel, and I loved him as a heel because he's doing these dark promos. Yes, thumbs up to that. And I don't know.
Cody Rhodes.
I thought I got a blanket. I'm gonna hold.
Come and break your back.
There you
You
go.
are very weak, and I will expose you.
That's how he was. Yeah, that's how he cut his promos. And I love that, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what. Yeah. I do want Shinsuke to. I want Shinsuke.
I will come and defeat you.
Adrenaline in my soul. Shinsuke cuts good heel promos, but now he's doing shit as a face.
Right.
Like a face.
Yeah.
Dude,
I want
actually,
Shinsuke.
To me in the face.
I want Shinsuke to join that Japanese faction with Damage Control. That would be awesome.
I have a feeling that once Bailey's out, they're gonna change the name of that faction.
I'm sure they will. Yeah.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Dakota Kai. But that's another discussion for another day. Let us know in the comments.
That's right.
Let's stick to this rumble.
I know.
You
So
were saying the profits and the
yeah.
whole
Bobby
carrying
Lashley, the
costs.
almighty Bobby Lashley. He kind of got lost in the match, and he got eliminated. Kind of It was
early.
not exciting. Yeah, it was like I don't know. I love Bobby Lashley. I think he has earned a long run as the champion, even if it's not the WWE championship, obviously, but he can, or the Universal, he can definitely take over the on the Seth Rollins side, especially since Seth is hurt right now. So we shall see what happens with that.
I feel like they're definitely wasting his potential.
Absolutely.
And the Street Profits as well.
Right.
By
Yeah.
like putting them in a program with AOP and Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross, I know why they're doing this. Because this is like the third attempt they're trying to make at reviving his character because it has not been catching on with the WWE universe. Now they're trying to throw AOP in a faction with him.
Oh my god.
Just because AOP is returning and they don't have anything better for them to do.
It's really bad. It's really bad. And the sad part is they didn't have to rewrite his character. The original character in NXT worked. They just didn't stick with it.
The original character in NXT wasn't even that good either. His
entrance was crazy.
His character that he came with before NXT, when he had all that hype before they signed him in the Indies, was really good.
Yes. The rebranding is a problem.
Because they rebranded him as Karrion Cross. They can't use his actual indie name because it's too violent. He was Killer Cross.
Right, he was Killer Cross.
And anyway,
yeah.
I feel like they're wasting that.
Yeah.
Your favorite slimy character
oh
found
my
a
god.
way into the Royal
Yeah,
Rumble.
your least favorite
Ludwig Kaiser.
Fucking piece of he looks like a used condom. God damn it.
He looks like a member of Hitler's Youth.
Jesus Christ.
He does. No, he does. Honestly, that's
Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser. He's so slimy and he looks like he's always sweating even when he's not in a match. Anyway, so Austin, it was Ludwig and then Austin, your guy, Austin Theory.
Oh God, don't get me started.
I know. We're literally gonna skip over those two idiots.
Austin, I had a concussion. I almost killed my opponent. Theory.
Jesus Christ, that was bad. And then number 15, your guy, Cody Rhodes, and the winner of. Yeah, and the winner of.
My father said, I'm number 15. I'ma win the Rumble today. Yeah!
Take that punk away. Take that punk away.
I won the Rumble.
I'm coming
Wrestling
for
has
you.
more than one royal fan, but only one of them has a patriarch under investigation for trafficking.
Oh, man.
I'm under indictment.
No chance.
No chance! You got no chance in hell!
You know what we should do? You know what they should do? But as a shoot, they should have Shane show up on WWE television. He's like, "This is mine now, and we're gonna fix the WWE just like I bought WCW."
Here comes the money.
Yeah, he's honestly.
Money.
Then there is rumors that Stephanie will come back if Vince is out. So that was a real thing that happened
To
there.
continue more sexual scandals in the family?
Oh fuck! Stephanie and Shane are the good ones, bro.
I don't know about Steph. We might have to tips about that one.
Triple H kept her also because Triple H is also sober.
I am the game. You don't want to play me.
All right. Gunther, another shining moment. He was great in there. And let's wrap this match and episode up here.
The ending was really good.
Yes.
We had Cody. The last four was Cody.
Yep.
Punk.
Yep.
Gunther.
And Drew. Yeah. And those were all great moments. And I loved after Drew and Gunther were eliminated that Cody and Punk actually had a pretty full match at that point. Mm-hmm. It was usually the final two in the Rumble. They don't end up going much longer.
It's a short spot.
Yeah, it's a short spot and they're done. But they actually had multiple teases, multiple false finishes with the eliminations. And as soon as Punk started saying, I'm not going to lose to Dusty's son, I didn't come back to lose to Dusty's son. That's when I knew he's done.
Yeah.
And I told you right then and there, I'm like, he's about to lose.
I wanted to see what happened, but I mean, even when you were saying it, I could feel it in my gut because those are those little hint moments that let you know exactly what they're going to do in terms of the finish. But before that,
Yes, I told you
pointed
this.
out
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
This was going to be,
The announcers,
yeah.
they hint
This
at
is Cody's worst nightmare.
yes, they said is this no something like along those
Yeah.
lines. Michael Cole was like, "This is becoming a nightmare." Or he said, "Is this going to be a nightmare?" or something along those effects. And I said it to you then because earlier in the pay per view I
You
was
told
like,
me to take note and remind you that you said it.
yeah. And I said it to you. I was like, the announcers usually hint at who's about to win. And he when he said the nightmare, I was like, look, I told you. And that's exactly what happened. Which to Mike's happiness or whatever the fuck the word is for it. Yeah, man. So Cody's gonna win. Cody wins and he faces Roman with it's in all likelihood. That's what he hinted at. We don't know what's going to happen with The Rock now. We don't know what's going to happen with Punk. Is Punk going after Seth? We shall find out. Is Seth even able to wrestle with the messed up knee that he has right now? Torn meniscus and torn MCL and a partially ruptured meniscus is technical injury that he sustained 2 Mondays ago against
and if Bailey doesn't go after Mommy,
Maharaj.
who will?
Yeah. So these are all great questions because the best way to end a pay-per-view is to have more questions than answers because that keeps you watching going into the next week and beyond. So
you thought you had all the answers.
You
found out you didn't even know the question.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Rowdy. I think that was Rowdy.
Yeah, and then Triple H stole it.
Yeah.
Wrestling has more than one Roddy Piper impersonator. I'm going on a tomorrow's Piper's Pit.
Piper's Pit, yeah.
Dude, I'll say this much. I feel like a lot of the Latino wrestlers in WWE right now seem to have the same shtick.
I feel you.
Like, look at
Santos.
Andrade.
Santos.
Yeah.
I mean, Rey Mysterio to a degree.
I feel, but at least Rey Mysterio kind of still looks like the luchador shtick.
Yeah.
And then you look at people like Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, Humberto. Yeah.
Hector Garza Jr. I feel like they all have that all they need to do now is bring back Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, I remember that. I was thinking about that during the match. Yeah. They didn't do that though. There wasn't any major
because he has a bad relationship with the WWE.
I know he does.
And for being an abuser after he beat the shit out of Paige.
Fucking A, man. What a piece of shit.
Soraya, we love you.
Yeah, we do. I hope she wins the title.
Not more than
she is the champion in AEW, right?
No,
she's not.
Tony Storm is.
Tony Storm, yeah. But didn't she win it? She didn't win it yet. She will win it.
No, she did win. She
won
won at Wembley, remember?
She did win at Wembley.
And then she ended up losing to Hikaru Shida,
You
who
did.
then
Yep.
lost it to your girl, Tony Storm.
That's right, Tony Storm. That's right, Tony Storm. The
but all of you pale in comparison to the DMD.
There actually was just an hour ago. There was an update.
Oh, breaking news.
Some stuff. So first off, it sounds like another position put out about.
Yeah, let's see what
Janelle Grant issued a statement since filing the suit against Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
Triple H was also asked about the lawsuit at the Royal Rumble press conference, and he kind of dodged the question.
He dodged it?
Yeah.
Okay. What
basically just said, I'm doing what we're going to be making sure it's a safe place for employees.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that's not something where it would be like if what if Vince McMahon's son-in-law was like, hey, we're going to make things better here. But it's like, dude, your father-in-law is like, you knew your father-in-law was doing this, like something, and you didn't really.
I think with that, because WWE is no longer just Vince's family's business. Mm-hmm. It's owned by a major corporation now in TKO and Dwayne Rock Johnson. I think Triple H doesn't have the freedom to answer shit like that
Oh yeah.
the
Mhm.
way he
Absolutely.
would if he so. But with that said, I think he does answer it without answering it. He says when he says we're going to make this place a better place, that's him saying yes, Vince fucked up. I think uh he diplomatically answered the question. But yeah, so as everyone it's not much of a news anymore, but Vince McMahon has been sued
Yeah.
by remind me of her name, her first name, I can't remember. I know her last
It
name is
is.
it's just Miss Grant is on the litigations they have.
It is Janelle Grant.
Janelle Grant, former employee of WWE, was forced into very various
Compromising situation.
compromising situations with multiple employees under Vince's orders. She was offered $3 million to keep it under wraps. And I believe that the details of this lawsuit is the fact that she's only received 1 million, and she has stopped. She's no longer being paid by Vince. So that is the motivator behind the lawsuit, which is part of the litigation, is that I didn't get paid to keep my mouth shut. So now she has disclosed in detail all the text messages between Vince and her, and Brock Lesnar's name is in the litigation in part of the lawsuit, and there's a few other. James John Laurinaitis is a part of it also. So.
What did I have to do with anything?
Yeah, you sounded like you were psycho even when you were the manager of WWE.
I'm the general manager
Yeah. So
of Monday Night
It's,
Raw,
wow.
and I molested the Bella Twins.
Jesus Christ. But yeah.
Isn't it in the suit that like Vince McMahon defecated on
Yeah,
Ms. Grant?
it's disgusting. It's and obviously
sex trafficking
obviously
to
yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's it's all there. And anyone can go and find it now. It's on it's easily.
It's not funny stuff, but it's kind of like so out there. It makes me chuckle a little just at the sheer ridiculousness
It's horrible
of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like it's so unbelievable, but the fact that there is substantial evidence that proves that this shit could be true,
and for legal purposes,
no pun intended.
Yeah.
It's just wow.
It's
wow.
For legal purposes right now, because it has to be proven in court.
Alleged.
It's alleged. Yeah, it's allegedly. We got to add that in. Am I surprised? Not to the slightest, because Vince usually played that kind of douchebag on TV anyway. And
but he's done a bunch of stuff.
He's done a bunch of stuff.
If you watch Dark Side of the Ring, you'll see all the stuff that he's done and kept under wraps.
Yeah.
Things that I have a feeling will soon come to light.
Yeah.
The most obvious of which allegedly paying off authorities to overlook the murder of Jimmy Superfly Snuka's
or Super Jimmy's murder, of his girlfriend, I think.
It was his girlfriend at the time. Yes,
she was found dead in his hotel room, and he calls it in, and apparently they did investigate it as a manslaughter or murder.
No, it was actually brought up again,
and he was arrested. Yeah,
he was arrested a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Tamina's dad.
Yes, it was found what do you call it? Sim Snooker's, aka Deuce's stepdad.
Right.
But it was found that he was not mentally fit to go on trial for it.
Yeah, insanity clause. Is that what it was?
And then he died a few months later.
That's crazy. Which that in itself isn't.
But I think that these things coming to light contributed to the rapid deterioration of his health from that point.
You already talking about Snooker?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's again, since there's no conviction, we can't say for sure. But it's strongly
Alleged.
insinuated
Insinuated.
that this is something that occurred.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the shadiness
Yeah.
behind the details behind Owen Hart's death,
Owen Hart's death.
and
The steroid.
which would explain why his spouse is still to this day angry enough not to let
Owen
in
into the Hall of Fame. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. Yeah, it is truly, all jokes aside, it is truly a dark moment. And for all the accomplishments Vince has had in pro wrestling and bringing it to mainstream, this is gonna become his Chris Benoit story if it is true.
You bring up a good point too. You know, Hedge mentioned earlier today that it's possible that they're thinking about censoring anybody that was named in the suit that has anything to do with
Yeah.
this from WWE footage,
Yeah.
which I find is going to be really difficult to do because I'm sure there's a lot of names and significant names that continuously were on WWE TV that are probably going to have to get censored out of big milestone events
That took place.
that took place in the company.
Yeah. The case
you
in
really
point.
think they'll go forward with that?
The hardest one would be the McMahon Austin feud. Like that was, I mean, that was the biggest thing in wrestling. And how are they going to censor him out of it? It's almost, you can't punish Austin. Austin,
He was the main heel during the Attitude Era.
he was the main heel. He was the evil boss. But my point is this.
Well, there's no argument there. He was definitely an evil boss.
Yeah, he was. That wasn't even a word.
made me do things.
He also actually played an evil boss in the world of wrestling.
Yeah. If they're not gonna censor him out of all of wrestling or WWE history, I don't know. I just feel like it was much easier to eliminate Chris Benoit from WWE history for obvious reasons, because he clearly murdered his own child and his wife before killing himself.
I feel like it's going to be an instance where, like they do right now with Chris Benoit's footage,
Yeah,
where they don't particularly advertise it on the network or on Peacock,
but it is on.
But
there.
they have a disclaimer on
Right.
every
Yeah.
single episode or show that
Yeah.
Benoit appears in, stating that they don't support or condone this.
Yes,
and that this
yes.
footage contains so and so, and
It-
I think that's probably the approach.
That's
they'll probably
that
take.
has to be. That has to be. Mike, what do you think is going to happen with it, assuming this goes through and Vince is found guilty of all of this?
I think I would probably guess it's gonna be. I don't know if you have seen the word. It's never to be viewed, copied, or destroyed. Have you heard about this?
Tell me.
So certain videos in the WWE archives, they have what is called never to be viewed, copied, or destroyed. So it basically means it's in the archive. It should never be watched or like viewed in a entertainment sense.
Right. What about
There's no need.
investigative sense?
Yeah, investigative sense. I mean, they would have to turn stuff over.
Yeah. Because that's just a rule they made up for themselves.
Yeah.
It's not like yeah.
So like the videos of Owen Hart dying, that's under it.
Right.
And then certain things where it's like they happen to have footage. If you have footage of someone who is dying, they don't destroy it just because
Yeah.
destroy footage for no reason.
Right.
Don't make a copy of it. I'm assuming they probably would have to make a copy of it sooner or later to stage degrade.
Yeah. Now,
But
I have a question, and this can be a whole other episode where we break this down. But we're still awaiting more details of this to come out. Vince's attorneys have quoted him as saying that he's gonna strongly defend himself and that none of this is true and it's been grossly over exaggerated. But he's not saying he didn't do it either. So it's he's just saying it's been exaggerated and it's not true. So anyway, but what I'm saying is once more details come out and this goes through litigation and the due process, I definitely want to get back on this episode and on this story, and Mike, you obviously I'd
Yeah.
want you on that episode. Um,
Mhm.
for now, all I can say is these videos that you're mentioning, and especially the one with Owen's fall.
Mhm.
And this was in '99 when that happened.
Okay.
I believe we had the early phones that were capable of recording.
But
And
they're very poor footage.
it was very poor
Yep.
footage.
And you could only record videos
15
in very
second.
short length.
Short
Yeah.
length, right? And I doubt anyone in the audience caught it, but nobody, but everyone in the audience did see it, and you've never heard anything from those people, right? Anybody
Mhm.
that was in the arena,
Yep.
like
It's almost like they have a gag order on them.
They
now,
might.
now Owen Hart has the Dark Side of the Ring episode, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he does. So it's they never talk to the audience members unless they do. I don't remember if
No, they don't.
they don't. So it's
don't.
like, how did that just get washed over? Like, how did that not get like ringside
Hmm.
people saw this thing happen, unfortunately, right?
Mhm.
And it's like either they don't want to be involved in it, but I doubt that nobody out that was around the ring doesn't want to be involved in it. Anyway, it's a whole
There,
thing. Yeah.
I know for the documentary on Shawn Michaels, the biography ones, which also I really recommend those for anyone. The
Yeah, biography
biography
ones are good.
WWE series. In that episode, they had the fan who managed to smuggle in a camcorder to the click curtain call up, and basically he was the one that got the footage of the
Yeah,
click
yeah,
curtain
yeah.
call. So he actually was or featured in there, but mostly it was just because he was one of the only people who has footage of the event. You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know that was a big one. So anyway, to wrap it up, let's discuss final thoughts on the Vince litigations, Janelle Grant's lawsuit, and we'll wrap it up after that. Mike.
Okay. I just want to say first off that something a lot of people do forget about, and it's been brought up very seldom, is Vince McMahon is a sexual assault survivor.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
discussed a lot. He doesn't like talking about it. There's some potential proof out there that his, or potential evidence. I don't know how
His mother.
confirming it is, how damning it is.
stepfather.
And his mother,
Um,
too.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that his stepfather and mother sexually abused him,
yeah.
and we don't know if that is true or not. But it seems like if that is the case, this is a example of a baby boomer aged adult man who was assaulted and abused and did not get, there weren't resources available like we have nowadays.
Yeah.
And he, rather than doing his part to fix himself, I mean, there is no excuse for what he did because there's
Of
no
course
excuse
not.
for what his
Yeah.
family did to him.
Right.
He took it out on female employees.
He's not the victim in what's happening right now,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
he was once a victim to the same style of crime.
yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely there. And what do you think?
Well, just to piggyback off of what Mike said, um, because that kind of help wasn't available back then, it doesn't excuse what Vince may have done later in life,
Mm-hmm.
but it explains a reason that he may have gone down the path that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, that should be all the reason why, in today's modern world, I would say to anybody that's viewing this that if you know of something like this that's happening, or if you're a victim of it
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
we're in a different time period where resources are available, people are there to listen, and people are there to help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely seek out those avenues if this is something that is happening to you or someone you know, because again, Vince, along with, well, in his case right now, a lot of this is alleged, but there are other examples of people that this has happened to,
Mhm.
that it is established that not having these issues addressed early led to them doing some pretty messed up things to others in later on in their lives. So it's important to seek out that help or get help for somebody else that you know
Yeah.
if that's occurring to them. And these instances, when they're reported, should not be taken for granted by authorities, or if they're discussed, or if a person just chooses to discuss it with you,
Hmm.
you should not take that lightly either and brush it off. We'll definitely address it. These are serious issues that could evolve into even worse issues if they're not, again, addressed. So, yeah, take stuff like this seriously,
Hmm.
and hopefully, you can get the help that you need if you need it, and we can do our best to prevent um, people from taking similar paths down the road because they were neglected.
And
Let's
there
talk
it
about
is.
the rain hotline. It's 1-800-656-4673. So RAIN is the Rape Abuse and Incest National Network.
Hmm.
I've myself am a sexual assault survivor as well. It was something where at the ages 17, 18, 19, I was very reckless,
Mm.
made a lot of stupid choices that, at the time you think it's funny when you're like, in a football locker room waving your dong around thinking it's funny. And you're like, wait a minute, this could, growing up going, wait a minute, dude, this is something that wasn't appropriate, was not funny. And having to be very remorseful about it, having to grow from that. I am glad that I took that time to sit myself down and go, okay, this is not appropriate behavior. The way, and at the same time, too, like the average 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy does not know how to talk to women with respect.
Hmm.
And is that a societal issue? Yes.
Mm.
But I think I did have to also take that responsibility of saying, look, I can take my steps in order to not hurt someone the way I got hurt.
Hmm. Yes.
And we, and in the same way of like eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, that is very similar.
Thank you for
Of
sharing
course.
that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that is. I'm sure that's was furthest thing from easy for you, and
Thanks,
um,
guys.
yeah, man, absolutely. And if, it's sadly with our generation, and even today's generation, the generations X, I'm sorry, Generation Z, it's every a lot of people unfortunately are dealing with some sort of abuse in this realm, and even other realms, just physical abuse, all of that. It does have long-term effects, and mental health is wealth, and without it, we're basically reckless. We can be reckless, as you said, and we can become a detriment to society. So yeah, what Mike said, and what Weapon reiterated. Reach out. Mike, give that phone number again before we
Yeah,
end.
absolutely. Here we go. You guys ready? It's 1-800-656-4673.
Mhm.
You can also go to rain.org. It's RAINN. That's Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Spelled like Rain Wilson, no
Mhm.
relation.
Yeah.
And it's just something where having that resource does help a lot. It,
Absolutely.
Right, and I think just aside from having you give that information out on the podcast,
Mhm.
how about Pej? We include that in the details in the notes of
Oh,
the
yes.
episode on YouTube.
It will definitely be in the description of this episode. It's also it would have also appeared on the screen as Mike shared it. Um, Yeah, get the help. It is out there. We have advanced in a great way in this area as far as getting the help. Mental health is one of the top fields in the medical field that is very valuable and very much needed. Everyone can use therapy, whether you've been through abuse or not. So,
There is no shame in
mm-mm,
seeking out help to better yourself,
yeah.
regardless of the reasons for you choosing to do so.
So with that said, again, thanks, Mike, for sharing that. And I hope that you have continued progress and best of luck with your
Thanks.
goals this year. I
Thank
hope you reach all of them and more. And
As you
And
too.
we'll definitely love to get you back on the show.
absolutely, you're
I'll be
coming
here.
back on.
And bring on Dusty Rose.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes. We should do a fantasy booking of the Royal Rumble in heaven, and how,
my
what
gosh.
would what would be who would be in that match?
Or
Dusty finish.
It would be in a dusty finish. Yeah.
I would like to also have one of the people being Andy Kaufman possessing Jim Carrey.
That was a great
Um,
movie.
oh,
Man
yeah.
on the Moon was an amazing film, and then the documentary that followed it was as well done. Jerry Lawler had a obviously big part in that as well. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching this episode. It was a polarizing episode to say the least.
High
But
five.
yeah. High five, yes.
Ciao.
Very nice.
Hello.
I like you. You like me.
Yeah, Borat definitely didn't seek the mental health that he needed.
Wow, we were.
Yeah. But yes, this was the Royal Rumble reaction episode / the sad breaking news with the Vince litigations and allegations. Let us know what you thought of the Royal Rumble this year. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes and Bayley for winning their respective Royal Rumbles. Congratulations to the head of the table. And we shall see where that goes.
And today we officially begin the road to
WrestleMania
40.
40. You don't mention the number.
You gotta make us seem old, huh?
Yeah, that's right. All good, man. All good. You're the
Right,
only
yes.
one that's north of 40. All right. As we go off the air, follow Mike Pinkerton. Give everyone your Instagram.
I'm
or
Pink
what-
Microton. You can find me on Instagram's the best place.
All right. There it
Yeah.
is. Weapon XMC. Pej the Maniac on all platforms. And of course, Legend of Wrestling Podcast. Hit the subscribe button or we will find you. See you on the next episode.
Bye,
You
Bridge.
too. See you guys.
Because you suck, Teddy Bears. You suck, Dusty Rose. You suck, Randy Savage. You suck.